already been an exciting day on Rocky Top, and man, it got a little more exciting tonight. Lady Vols, 79, Florida State 77. The first really big test of the year for the Lady Vols, and they come out on top. It was one, I've said it with this style of play that they play. It's going to be great when it's working. There's times it's going to be infuriating as well. But it was a heck of a game. It was definitely a heck of a game. And all it matters, when it's all said and done, is that final score. 79-77, Lady Vols. Let's hit some things here real quick. Papa J, member of the channel, says, wow, third quarter is so sloppy. That was we hit Ronnie Freeman's, and I'll come back to a couple more as well. Hate they blew the 18-point lead. It's Tennessee for you, though. Like I said, take the good with the bad sometimes on it. They were red hot in the second quarter. They were ice cold in the third quarter. But, I'm proud of them. And Coach Caldwell was pretty ticked with Talia Cooper on a couple of occasions. But she didn't go away from her. They had their moment. They had their meeting about it. She pulled her out, and then she come back in. It was a big part of the game. There was two or three of them I had that I thought were really key down the stretch here for the Lady Vols. Let's look at, let me hit a few more. Papa J was sweating this one out. He said, woo, let's go. Moondrops Beauty, what's up? That was one heck of a game. Lady Vols had a lot to clean up, but great win. Absolutely. Totally agree with that one. That was one of those, a win is a win is a win is what it boils down to for sure. Look at some stats. To me, your main players tonight. Of course, Cooper did her thing tonight with 22 points. Z Spearman was big down the stretch. Z Spearman, I thought, was a big key down the stretch in helping him win that basketball game. She had some big baskets that come through. 3-point shooting, she was 1 of 6 tonight. She had a few that were a little off, to say the least. But, man, she come through numerous times down the stretch. I thought Samara Spencer had some big buckets as well. When Florida State had cut it back, I can't remember if it was tied or where it was, and then Lady Vols had not hit in a while, and then Spencer stepped up and hit some. She had 11 points tonight, 7 rebounds, 4 assists for 4 turnovers. I mean, I would like to see that a little bit lower, but I thought Spencer had some big buckets as well. I mean, there were numerous ladies tonight that had points. Let me get my stats going here, the home stats. Yep, totally agree. General Spearman was big tonight. This team is absolutely Papa J. They are going to live and die by the 3. That's just the way it is. The announcers were talking about both these teams. An average of 65 threes attempted per game for both teams. That's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy, to say the least. Let's say, Zach, the score was 79-77 Lady Vols. It was an interesting one tonight for sure. A-Dub said, go Lady Vols, proud of the girls, not the greatest third, but a win is a win. They beat us 1 last year. We got them by 2 this year. Absolutely. Totally agree with you on that one. That was I've been pretty honest. I've not been the Lady Vols connoisseur along the way. I've kept up with them, see how they do here and that. But, tonight, this whole year, it's like when I finally did a Lady Vols video, I saw the support, what it was at, and I'm like, hey, I'm all in on this. I'm all in. I was fired up tonight. It was like there was plenty of head shaking. There was plenty of fist pumping. I mean, especially that second quarter when they went on that run, and it felt like hitting 3 after 3. And then you have the opposite end of the spectrum in the third quarter where they're missing 3 after 3. But, it was a resilient team. Yeah, they got punched in the mouth a little bit later on, but they were still able to come through with the win on here tonight as well. Let me hit it. Let's see. I'll get back to you guys whenever my screen quits. Oh, here we go. I've just switched to a Mac recently, so I'm still getting a little bit used to that along the way as well. Kind of wondered about, I think this is a good comment, had a feeling the lead wouldn't hold. Florida State, they're a great offensive team. I mean, you look at their stats tonight, they have what? The leading scorer in the country. And Latson, 38 points tonight for her. She went 15 out of 25, 3 out of 6 from three-point range. Thing of her, I talk a lot about the plus minus. Florida State was actually minus tonight with her on the court. Florida State, it looks like, with Turnage was plus 12, and Turnage played 16 minutes. She didn't have any points, had a few rebounds, a couple of assists, but they were plus 12 while she was on the court. Again, that metric's a little bit overrated at times. I do like to look at it. I like to see the contributions up. For Lady Vols tonight, their highest plus minus on the night was actually Hollingshed. They were plus minus 13 when she was on the court. Spencer was 12. Tess Darby 11. Cooper 7. They had some minuses in here. Whitehorn minus 5. Spear minus 6. Puckett minus 2. Kanaya Boyd minus 12. Latham minus 2. Again, it's not all on that player. Obviously, there's obviously 5 of them on the court, but it isn't to me an interesting statistic. Efficiency, Cooper was the most efficient at 24. Spencer, Spearman, Latham, that was your most efficient offensive players for Tennessee tonight. Split box, so some Lady Vols have been a big time offensive rebounding team on it. There's going to be a stat here in a minute that they've really got to clean up, and it may not surprise you, but Z definitely saved the game. I totally agree with that one. This is going to be this style of play for this team. When it's working, like in the second quarter, it's going to be beautiful. When it's not working, it's going to look like the third quarter. It's going to be that's just the way it is. I think Ronnie said it earlier in here. You take the good with the bad. Right here, par for the course. Take the good with the bad. Absolutely, totally agree with that one. That's what this style of play. This style of play is probably going to result in maybe some wins that we don't expect. Unfortunately, there may be some nights where it doesn't go too well either. So let's look. This is freaking insane. I'm just telling you, these numbers I'm getting ready to spew out here is just ridiculous. Florida State. I'm just going to hit Florida State stats first. I'm not even hitting the Lady Vols yet. This is, good God, this is maniacal. Florida State was 31 out of 69 tonight, 45%. 3-point, 4 out of 17, 24%. Free throws, they were 11 out of 13. They got the line more than Lady Vols. The Lady Vols took 85 shots tonight. How in the world do you get 85 shots off in a basketball game? They were 9 out of 35 from three-point range, 34 out of 85 field goals, 40%, 26% from three-point range. Here's the one, they just got to the foul line 7 times, but they were 2 out of 7, 29%. They've got to clean that up right here. Turnovers were even, 16 apiece. Lady Vols did get 21 of them. Lady Vols, here's the difference in the game, 50 rebounds to 39 for Florida State. That led to 19 second chance points. Of course, the Lady Vols were 23 points in the paint. Bench points. Florida State actually outscored the Lady Vols 54-46 in the paint, and they out-fast break them 25-16. Blocks 5-4 in favor of Florida State. Steals 8-6 in favor of Florida State. Lady Vols had 14 assists to Florida State's 10 tonight. Says the lead only changed 5 times. It felt like more than that, but I know it happened kind of late as well. And the Lady Vols led for 35 minutes and 45 seconds tonight. But 85 shots, good grief, that's insane. Zach's at a wedding reception. He's trying to sneak in the score here. Got to do what you got to do, man. I respect it. What's up, Herb? Good to see you in here, man. Good job, ladies. Great win. Go Big Orange. This is good. They need slowed intersets, get the absolute best shot. They did that in the fourth. There was a part of me wondered if it was in them to slow it down. But, yeah, good point. They slowed it down. I thought they were much more, I don't know if methodical is the right word, maybe composed in that fourth quarter. But definitely a much better fourth. That third, I just felt like it was total chaos. It was just quick shots. Florida State, I thought, rebounded well in the third quarter. I'm curious about the third quarter stats here, as a matter of fact. Florida State out-rebounded the Lady Vols 14-11. Here's your difference in that third quarter. Florida State was 11 out of 18. Tennessee was 5 out of 23 from field goals in that third quarter. That was, turnovers. Tennessee only had 4 turnovers. They had 5 fouls. Florida State only had 1 turnover and 3 fouls in that quarter. So there's your that shooting, 5 out of 23. That's a big difference. Florida State did out-rebound the Lady Vols in that quarter also. So, looking at some of these as well, looking to fourth quarter, much better. I mean, Florida State still shot 56% in the fourth quarter. They went 9 out of 16. Tennessee was 11 out of 22. Tennessee did not hit any threes in the fourth quarter. Florida State only hit 1. Your big difference in that fourth quarter, Tennessee 13 rebounds, Florida State 6 on it tonight. So if you want to look for a difference, in my opinion, and in that quarter, Z Spearman 10 points, 3 rebounds. Cooper had 12 points. Those two, that was actually the only 2 who scored in the fourth quarter for the Lady Vols. That's pretty fascinating. Latson for Florida State 10. Bowles 8, and Timpson 2. So they only had 3 players scoring the fourth themselves. Turnovers was pretty even. Those rebounds were really the big difference in that fourth quarter to me. So far, this is amazing hire by Danny White. There's going to be nights it's going to be frustrating. It is. It's going to happen. But they're playing an exciting brand of ball. The arena sounded awesome tonight. Sounded like the crowd was really into it. And, of course, you look at what Kim Caldwell and her staff did in the portal, getting Whitehorn, getting Spencer, getting Z Spearman, getting Alyssa Latham. I always thought it was Iredale. Was it Ayadele? Maybe. I apologize if I mispronounced that one because I think I did. But I thought they did awesome in the portal, and you look at their signing class they've got coming in. I mean, they did great with their signing class as well. And Danny White's he's did pretty good on all of it. Hey, man, I appreciate this. Thank you for coming late. Not a lot of people do. I appreciate that. It's, that was one back, gosh, when was it? I guess getting into maybe it's right after the season. Really what any of you guys that have listened to me on this, last year where I live outside the Greenville, South Carolina area. So on the day Lady Vols played South Carolina in the SEC tournament, we were hanging out at a watch party just right down the hill, Yeehaw Brewing. Tennessee was playing Kentucky, was mainly there to watch that. But you had 4 South Carolina fans there. It was a cool environment. Everybody was cool. Had a good time at it. But the men lost to Kentucky, and it was like, okay. There was a bit of the game left. Lady Vols were leading South Carolina. Had that in the bag. We kind of got emotionally attached to it. And then that ending happened. And I went home. I was tore up for a couple days over that. It's like, how can you let that happen? And some people who watched like the men's and stuff. It's like, man, you should cover the Lady Vols. And finally, when Kim Caldwell decided not to keep coach that went to Mississippi State, Samantha. I'm sorry, I forget her last name right now. There was an article that was very slanted, and that's what brought it on. And that the support on that's still the highest ranked video in my channel's history. I was like, I'm all in on this. This Lady Vol stuff is pretty cool. It's fun to watch too. I'll say that. So, A-Dub, thank you for the support. All of you for supporting it. It's greatly appreciated. It's been a game changer for this channel. I cannot state that enough. There is right now we got 135 people watching. I don't even get close to this on a men's game. I cannot state that. Don't even get close to that. And we've had some pretty good crowds for men's game. But this Lady Vol support, man, is awesome. Thank you guys for making it possible on here as well. Let's see. Both teams were unbeaten. That was the first one for Florida State on here. Pretty good on here. Resiliency. That's what I took. Yep. When things went south, Kim Caldwell was pissed. But, Cooper was right back in. She was right back in. So it's gaining, they talked about it on the game, gaining that trust. And, I agree. That 8-0 run in the second was impressive. I mean, it was like they were draining 3 after 3 for a point in time. That's the time that I talk about. It's going to be really fun when they're on. But there's the flip side of that one too. If they were to keep up a solid pace, again, they were, let's see here. I mean, second half, they went 1 out of 12 for the game. First half, let me pull it up here. 8 out of 23. So 35% in the first half. Not too good in the second half. But, I think you take the 35% and you're good with that. They can hit more. And I think Kim Caldwell gives them that autonomy to take those shots. But, the 1 for 12, that says a lot about them as well. Florida State comeback, they went 1 for 12 in the second half, yet they were still able to come out with that win. Like some of you are saying, some have mentioned, I don't know that they win these in others. I just don't. Turnovers, this is a good one. Somebody mentioned for the game, I think 16. Honestly, I think that's what you're going to get with this team. Too many I agree. Too many turnovers. 16 against a pretty good team like Florida State, especially they both play a breakneck pace. I think I could live with it to an extent. I definitely would like to see it lower. I totally agree on that one. SEC football, what's going on, man? Why are the Lady Vols not ranked? I think definitely, if they take care of business against Iowa this weekend, they're ranked. I don't think there's any doubt about it. I'm not sure why they are not up to this point. Maybe it was a prove it for them. This was a step in the right direction for it tonight as well. Hey, what's up, David? Good to see you in here. Proving why coaching change was needed. She brings an edge. I mean, it's a chaotic style of play, but as we saw tonight as well, she'll hold these ladies accountable. They've talked about it in practice about just the amount of stuff they put them through, how they tally up the mistakes. I think it pisses off the girls on the team, but still, they've got something good going on. I don't know that I can put the highlights up. I wish I could. They're definitely not right now. And I got to be careful with some of that too. If I could, I definitely can't stream the game by any means. But highlights, I mean, it might be something on like a recap that I could do, but I'm not sure how I could do that. Definitely would like to try to provide what I can on that. What's up, Rob? Hit that like button. Absolutely. Hit that like button. Share it out. If you guys haven't already, hit that subscribe. Hit 2,300 tonight, man. That's pretty cool. We've had a good last week with a couple videos, football-wise, that's really helped things. Did something on the playoff Sunday. The Jaden Perlotti commitment tonight. That one took off as well. Matt SS, good to see you back in here, man. Go Vols, baby. Glad you're back in here, Matt. Let's see. No, it's all good, Tim. But 16 is it. I agree with you. I'm totally with you on that. A little high, but I think my fear is there's going to be some nights it's going to be worse than that. But just playing this style of pace. But I mean, the good thing for it as well, it's a new coach, it's a new system. You're breaking in. You know, you had so many transfers coming in. You're undefeated. You just beat a good team tonight. You're going to play another good team this weekend in Iowa. They're going to keep getting better along the way. And I don't think, and I think Kim Caldwell stated this so far as well, they've not even come anywhere close to playing their best style of ball yet as well. What's up, Sanders? Good to see you in here tonight. This was a huge win. I totally agree with you. Best competition they've played so far, and I think this was going to be a measuring stick as to where they are at this point. Let's see. Who else? Somebody, A-Dub had mentioned earlier in here, lost last year at Florida State by 1. Get them back this year by 2. That's a big win, especially in this ACC SEC challenge. You're playing a good team. You know, what did I hear it called against UT Martin? A get-back game. I think I've heard people call it or term it. Yeah, they're 2-0 in get-back games so far this year. I said UT Martin. Middle Tennessee is who I meant on that. But 2-0, and I know a lot of these ladies did not play last year, weren't on the team, but still yet, you know, the fact that they got Middle Tennessee back in early November, now they've gotten Florida State as well. The good thing about this one, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong on this, did they not say that Latson for Florida State is the leading scorer in the country? Maybe I heard that wrong, but I swear I thought that's what they said. I mean, 38 tonight, she definitely added to it. Florida State had 4 players. No way. Florida State legitimately only had 4 players score tonight. Latson had 38, Gordon 16, Timpson 13, Bowles 10. That's pretty wild. 4 players is all they had score tonight. Internal Lady Vols had 9 players score tonight. Of course, Cooper had 22. Z Spearman had 13. Spencer had 11. Cooper had 7 boards. Latham only played 17 minutes. She had 9 points and 7 rebounds. That's a pretty productive night, in my opinion. Spear had 8 points in 25 minutes. Of course, Cooper 22 and 7, Darby 6, Spearman 13, 5 rebounds, Spencer 11 points, 7 rebounds. Again, I thought Spencer had some big buckets tonight. She had some big scores, especially when Florida State was coming back on them tonight. Okay, all right. I thought that's what they said, that she was the leading scorer, and I was hoping I didn't hear that wrong. So thank you guys, Keith and A-Dub, for straightening me out on that. Let's see here. There's the Outlaws hype man, Bob Franklin. What's going on, Bob? Bob says, I think I love Kim Caldwell. Awesome coaching and straightening out the ironing board. I like what she's doing. I like what she brings to the table. I like the style. I like these chaotic styles to an extent. I guess I would rather have a fun pace opposed to Some of you guys that have been with Tennessee sports for years probably remember the old Kevin O'Neal style of basketball, or even to an extent, the Konzo era. Those styles of play absolutely drive me nuts. I like the breakneck pace is fun. It's fun. It makes it exciting. I mean, again, 85 shots tonight. Holy crap. I mean, are they going to put up 100 in one? If the Lady Vols go to overtime or a double overtime game, I'm telling you, they'll shoot over 100 shots. It's crazy to me. Yes, if I'm reading this right, let me make sure I'm not on just like a half or something here. Yeah, Florida State had four players score, and that they had those four went 31 out of 59. The other five that I'm showing that took shots went 0 for 10 on the night. And so yeah, that's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy, to be honest with you. Definitely may see FSU again in March. Totally agree on that one. Spencer can play, man. She's a good player. And I know they had mentioned before the season about she would be one that helped drive the team a lot. And I thought she had some big shots tonight. Had the three. She had one where she drove in, missed kind of a little floater, got the rebound, got knocked down, got fouled. I thought that was a big moment as well. I mean, she had some rebounds, had the 4 assists. The 4 turnovers from point guard, I would like to see that come down a little, but again, Spencer does good things. She's a real good pickup there as well. Papa J called it on the radio. Oh, it's what was it, Brian Rice? I've not listened to him, actually. No, just haven't. I don't ever listen on the radio, but kind of curious to hear him. Heard he's pretty good at it. Hey, Rhonda, what's going on? Good to see you in here. Didn't get to see the last few minutes. It was a good one. Come right down to it. I'm trying to think what happened. The winning part, if I'm forgetting one, correct me on this. Cooper drove. They closed on her, Spearman. Then she hit her for the layup. And then I'm thinking that's how it ended. Maybe I'm forgetting a shot. When they shoot 85 damn shots, I can't keep up with all of it. I'm going to be honest with you. Third quarter was rough. Yeah, let me pull the third quarter stats back up here as I'm looking at it on here. Tennessee in the third quarter was 5 out of 23. They only scored 12 points. I mean, here's your big thing. Florida State scored 30. Lady Vols scored 12 in that third quarter. So hopefully this doesn't become like last year's Josh Heupel offense when they got to the third quarter and couldn't score. That was a pretty ugly third quarter tonight, like numerous ones of you have said on here tonight. They scored 12 points in the quarter, 5 out of 23 field goals, 1 out of 7 3-pointers. Spencer hit the 1-3. That was big, in my opinion, too, because that's when Florida State was making their run. They got it close, and Spencer hit that. I thought that was a big one for her. Spencer was the only one to get to the free throw line that quarter, 1 for 2. If I'll quit getting pop-ups here. 11 rebounds in the quarter to 14 for Florida State. Lady Vols 5 fouls, 4 turnovers in the third quarter. So yeah, I mean, Florida State got to the free throw line 8 times, 7 out of 8. They shot 33% from 3-point. They shot 61% from field goals. So I totally agree with Rob here. We got to figure out what happened in that third quarter and make sure that that doesn't become the thing moving forward here. Cooper's ability, Shamiqua Holtzclaw. That's an interesting conversation. Who's the greatest Lady Vol, at least that I've seen? Is it Holtzclaw? Is it Candace Parker? I mean, I think that's a tough argument, to be honest with you. Holtzclaw, I mean, was the real deal. She was the real deal. I mean, Candace, I don't know how you go wrong with either. They're both awesome. Both awesome players. They were so much fun. That was more when I watched Lady Vol. Of course, that's when Pat was the coach. I guess I lost some interest in them as they went along the way. Of course, when they started getting a little bit mediocre along the way. Oh, this is cool. Greenwave said he went to school with Brian Rice, the Lady Vols announcer. And I followed him on social media some, seen him talk about his childhood dreams. So he's calling Lady Vols basketball and softball, if I'm not mistaken, on that. So that is pretty cool for him that he's able to do that. This is definitely a different style of play for sure. There's no doubt about it. Mallory Lauren, what's up? Good to see you in here. Fun to finally watch a new style and lots of passion. Yeah, it's a fun team to watch. I mean, it was, again, you could tell by the crowd tonight, they were into it. And when you have that pace and there's not a lot of standing around, there's not a lot of stalling. Between the two teams tonight again, I mean, they shot, let me pull this back up. I know 85 for the Lady Vols. Between the two of them, they took 154 field goals. 154 field goals tonight. In turn, I want to just compare this a little bit. Let me pull up the men from last night. Which, I mean, 96-70, our men said we got it going on in Knoxville right now. All right, in turn with it. So Syracuse took 53 field goals last night. Well, the men took 65, but still, I mean, that is 118 compared to 154. It's a pretty big difference. And that was one of your higher scoring games for the men at 96 last night as well. There was definitely, could hear Ray Burrow calling out the refs. There were some interesting calls for sure tonight. It seems like about every game they've had some of those. The general says he's going with Candace over Shamiqua, but it's a tough one. I don't think there's a wrong answer. I mean, they were both. I mean, am I forgetting anyone that's better than either one of those two? I mean, what they did down there, they were both awesome. They were both just great players down there as well. We got 162 people in here. This is awesome, man. Thank you guys so much for the support on here as well. Hopefully with football I don't know if football's going to go on a bit. Of course, signing day today, and then you're going to have, of course, the playoffs coming up in a few weeks. You're going to get into portal season's already starting. That's going to be football going on. We'll get more into basketball. Baseball's going to be cranking up. If any of you don't know, that is my thing, is baseball. But it's an all-around channel. Do all of it here. Let's see. Got Tennessee Vol 23 offensive 23 offensive rebounds to 10 for Florida State. That was a big stat on the night because I just mentioned the 50 total rebounds to 39. But yes, Lady Vols had 23 offensive rebounds tonight. That was big. That was big. Bob says Candace too. Less supporting cast. I mean, I don't have a problem with it either way on it. I mean, they were both just phenomenal. No doubt about it. Keith said, I think overall career, Candace, Lady Vol career has to go to Holtzclaw based on championships, all-time scorer, and rebounder on it. Two of the best that's played. No doubt about it. Let's see what else. I think I'll be honest, I think I've hit about everything can hit on the game tonight. I hate to wrap it up now. Got 173 of you in here. Again, these are pretty cool. Let's look at the road going forward. So, I would say this to good tonight. I'll go good, bad, and ugly. I put that in my intro on there. The good for me, this team overcome some adversity. That second quarter was really good. I'll talk about the third quarter again here in a moment. Florida State come back, tied it. Took the lead, I think, actually, at one point. Lady Vols didn't panic. They didn't give up. They didn't get down. They overcome the adversity. That was good for me. Second quarter, really good. Individual players to me, Spearman, really good at the end, was big time down the stretch. Again, I thought Samara Spencer had some big buckets tonight, especially at third quarter. I thought that three she hit kind of slowed some momentum down that Florida State had going. Of course, Cooper. I know Kim Caldwell got upset with her at some points, but Cooper didn't get down. She come back and was really big down the stretch as well. The bad for me, really, I would put the ugly was that third quarter. That third quarter was ugly. It was bad. 3-point shooting tonight, 9 out of 35. I would put that in the bad. I would put in the ugly as well. Only 2 out of 7 free throws. That's 29%. That's pretty bad. But still, when it's all said and done, to me, the good outweighed the bad, and it outweighed the ugly because Lady Vols 79, Florida State 77. And again, talk about it. This team, they're just going to keep getting better and better, in my opinion. And I'm excited to see what they do this weekend against Iowa. Neutral site game up in New York. That'll be their first neutral site game of the year. First road game of any kind, because they've played all their games at home so far. So Lady Vols says it's on Fox. So I'm not sure if that's accurate or not, because I would have thought, the Big Ten championship's on CBS this year. And so it says Fox Saturday night, 7 o'clock against Iowa. So should be a fun game. Then they're off a week. They'll play North Carolina Central at home. They'll play at Memphis December 18th. Richmond 2 days later in Florida at the West Palm Beach Classic. And then they play Tulsa that weekend in West Palm Beach. December 29th, Winthrop at home. That's the last non-conference game before SEC play. And then they do play one more non-conference game against UConn. And that is on, we pull it back at February 6th, which is a Thursday night, 6:30. That's already listed as an ESPN game. I was going to say, I would imagine that'll be on one of your main networks. Looks like they've got a few games scheduled. LSU on February 9th, an ESPN game. South Carolina, ESPN2 game on January 27th. You got some SEC network games along the way. Looks like they have numerous ones of that. There's going to be quite a few of the Lady Vols games that are going to be on national TV. You've got your SEC Network Plus games, which if you have a login and you go on the app, you can get those games as well. Hopefully there's no ESPNU. That's the one channel I cannot get is ESPNU. I normally have to get some subscription or some crap for that, some trial subscription to get ESPNU. I thought that channel was going away, and it seems like there's a game or two every year pops up on ESPNU. It does for baseball. That's the one that infuriates me the most on it, because I'll normally pay to get ESPN Plus during baseball season so I can watch the Vols, and then here a game pops up on ESPNU. Is what it is. But this non-conference schedule, so Iowa Saturday night, they really got a shot to run the table in non-conference play if they can get by Iowa. And then, of course, UConn coming to town. That'll be a tough one. Make no mistake about it. But going into that UConn game, as far as non-conference schedule goes, I think they have a real shot to be undefeated. But Iowa, of course, I know Iowa I had Caitlin Clark. Iowa right now. Let me pull their stuff up here just a minute. And it pulls up Iowa soccer when I go to it. Here we go. Iowa's women's schedule. They're currently 8-0. So they've beat Northern Illinois, Virginia Tech, Toledo, Drake. The Virginia Tech game was in Charlotte, so they have played at least one neutral court game so far. They beat Kansas and Sioux Falls. They've played at least 2 neutral court games. Washington State beat them bad, so they've played 3 of them now. Iowa State, Iowa's mainly played neutral site games. Washington State was neutral. Rhode Island was neutral in Cancun. BYU was neutral. And then, of course, I get Lady Vols up in Brooklyn, New York this coming weekend. So Iowa's mainly just played neutral site games so far. They played Washington State was at home. I read that one. Or no, it was in Iowa City. Drake was in Des Moines. Okay, Iowa City is their home. I thought, whatever. General says Virginia Tech's a decent, good win for them. I mean, going to be a strong team for sure. Going to be a strong team. So is Olsen, is she out has she just been out for those games, or will she be out this weekend as well? So Keith says she's played, they played their last 2 games without Lucy Olsen there as well. Be an interesting game. This was the week that I've kind of had circled. I think probably a lot of people have coming in just based on the competition this week. It's the best competition they've played so far. So, yep, Saturday night, 7 o'clock on Fox. That'll be pretty cool. That's a national broadcast game. What better time for Kim Caldwell and that staff and that team to really hit a stride and come out with that style of play. If you're on Saturday night for the country to see, of course, I know a lot of people will be watching football, but not everybody watches football either. Tennessee fans will probably be watching Lady Vols basketball, I would imagine. You guys rule. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Huge crowd. I would like to go live Saturday. I don't think I'm going to be in town, though. I don't think I'm going to be. If something changes, I'll update the board here. If you haven't hit that subscribe button on the channel, that way you can turn on those notifications. When it goes live, it will notify you on there as well. But it's been a good day for Tennessee athletics in general. Signing day, Tennessee's picked up some really good players today. Not only did they keep most of their commitments, but they also gained 3 guys who are really good football players as well. Going to be really good football players for Tennessee. But it's always a great day to wear the orange. The Summit Blue uniforms are awesome. I love those. They look so good. That color scheme and all looks so good. A part of me would love to see the football team wear them, or even baseball sneak a pair of them out would be pretty cool. I don't know that you'll see that. Of course, when the Lady Vols softball wears the Summit Blue, it looks really good as well. That color scheme is just great. Love it. But thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. Have a great rest of your evening. This is Frank. This is the House of Orange Sports Channel. Have a great rest of your evening. Go Lady Vols and go Vols.